Hello, hello. Hello, Facebook. It's been a while since I've been on live in here. And today I'm popping in to celebrate the 10th day of a 10-day event that I just led and something that has taken me 5 years to complete. So I have this series called The 10 Commandments of a Soul-Led Business, and I'm going to drop each of these commandments in the comments here when I'm done with this live so that you can review them 1 through 9. There was a 10th commandment that I never completed. And the funniest thing about this story is that I started doing this work 3 years ago. So I started maybe recording like 1 through 5. And then in 2024, I did 6 through 8, and I did 9, and then there was 10. And 10 just sat there. And in all the ways that we do things in life when we're creating from an energy informed kind of mystical flow state, journeying with business and, who we are as the growth process, sometimes we end up at that point in the journey where we're like, hey, I forgot about this thing. Like, I forgot that I never finished number 10. And then, as always, we look back and we go, oh, of course it's perfect, because guess what number 10 was? Number 10 for me was don't box yourself in with rules about how you do business. And on the heels of that, I think I have such an incredible, funny story to tell. So I'm just coming up on and just finishing up a 5-year cycle in business. So 5 years ago, I had the courage to step out and do something, follow a dream, become something else that felt incredibly scary and intimidating to me. So if you don't know this about me, in my past life, my previous career, I was an executive chef of an Italian restaurant in San Francisco. I came from brick and mortar. I came from entrepreneurship since the age of 25. And I also owned a butcher shop. So in my normal life, people knew me as one way. And then when it was time to leave that identity behind and return to what I described as a more magical way of living, which really, if I wanted to simplify the terminology around that, I would just say that it was a more aligned way of creating from my life force energy. Creativity, aka life force energy, is something that I am very familiar with. In fact, I used my ideas and my creativity in every moment, in every step of my career, with ideas and experiences and crafting beauty that other people could taste, touch, see, feel, engage with. That was always part of my job. But I did get to the point in my career where it was time for me to claim who I was, and that meant that I was stepping into a more philosophical space. I wanted to own a business online. I wanted the location freedom, and I wanted to actually create in an entirely new way, a different way. So not linear, step by step. I have this goal, I'm going to achieve it. I wanted to journey with my business as an experiment and allow it to become the thing that helped me continue to evolve and become more of myself. And so one of the first things that I put down was the need to know exactly how it was going to come to fruition, how my dream for my new career was going to come to fruition. And the reason I put that down, actually came from like giving up or surrender, right? Surrender is the more spiritually aligned word to use, but probably at that time in my life, my human was like giving up because I had tried to figure out exactly what it was going to be for like a decade. Okay, my human had been doing all of the thinking, all that it could, and it couldn't figure it out. And I just was so tired of feeling that way that I was like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do and trust that it's going to work out and I'm going to keep moving. I know myself. And since I know myself, I'm pretty sure that I'll end up somewhere and I'm going to have the courage to do it and to have it take me there. So my journey began in December 5 years ago with an event called the Season of Miracles. And the Season of Miracles was a catalyst or a catapulting foundational event that allowed me to welcome 10 people into my world for 1 year in a journey that I called the Future Activated Being. It was a membership that I called FAB. And in this membership, we spent the whole year moving through different inner codes. So we worked with the victim codes. We worked with our codes of soul magic. We worked with how we related to performance programs and money programs and power programs. And there was this really wildly beautiful trust that people who joined me on this journey had to take step by step with me. And it also was because I was a brand new business owner. I didn't really know what I was doing with tech, systems, and all the things that you need to learn to run a business properly in the online space. And because I wasn't doing session work, so I wasn't doing one-to-one session work. I started with group programs and I started with programs that were ultimately designed to be evergreen. So they were designed to become like a piece in the puzzle in the larger body of work. And because of that, it was required that I build some sort of business system from that. So my first year, what I did was I went with what was comfortable. I knew from my experience running businesses and running teams and having employees and staff, I knew that, or rather, I thought that the right way to do it was simply to hire a team. Okay, so I'm brand new, blissfully ignorant, and accustomed to managing teams of people. And so I just was like, I've got to get a team together. I'm doing the online thing. I've taken a handful of courses. I've done the one funnel away challenge, and I'm watching all this amalgamated Frankenstein business strategy courses, whatever PDF pops up in my inbox or on my Facebook. I'm taking this thing and that thing, and this is how I'm going to do it. And so I had a team of people working with me, and I was creating a lot, and it was great. They were great, but I realized over time, there was this one morning that I sat down for this team meeting, and I just was like, I am spending more of my time in a week managing people than I am actually creating in my business. And I'm sitting down to have this team meeting and tell them what to do. And I don't even know what I'm doing enough to tell them what they should be doing. And I'm just creating all of these systems and SOPs and programs. And I don't even know if I'm ever going to sell them again. I don't know where they belong in the larger body of work. I don't really like the quality of what I'm putting together as I sit back and reflect on it. And I'm moving and evolving and growing so fast. Like, I don't even know who I am in this journey. And I realized at that moment that, you know what? I have to stop all of this. And I need to be the one with my fingers in the business, doing everything myself until I understand it so much so that I can tell somebody else what I need. Because I'm not thinking ahead in the way that I need to be right now. And so I decided to do that, and I just wiped the slate clean and I dove all in. Okay. So for quite some time after that, it was just me doing everything myself. And I learned a lot from that journey. I began to learn as I did things myself. My preferences for business, the way that I like to learn in myself, creating with a future forward energy. I'm not the person who has PowerPoint presentations and PDF booklets all fleshed out. I'm the person who can sense into the opportunity of something that is coming, and I know that I need to step into a field of learning, experiential, right? So my brand was very experiential. It still feels that way in me. And so all I know is that I got to keep stepping and I'll figure it out as I go. I did that for a while. And I also, while doing all of this, was developing a huge body of work. So I had the awarenesses to identify the pieces of the structure that were very important for me to put it all together into the whole piece. And in the theme of this live and this conversation, as I'm sharing, don't box yourself in with rules about how you do business. At each one of these phases, I would come up against a feeling that I had been creating and then had unconsciously created a limitation around myself when it came to systems that were twofold. So there was a limitation in me, obviously, as I'm growing forward. And then there was a limitation built around the rigidity that I was creating and needing to know exactly how to do it and how to build it and to keep moving forward. 5 years later, I want to share with you some of the most important things that I've learned about systems, rules, business strategy, and how to build a body of work that has flow. So that's experimental in that you are the scientist, you are the observer of your own depth, and how to take a step by step with equal footing in architecture, okay, and equal footing in the mystical. So, one of the things that I do best for my clients, there's a few things that are 100% my magic, but one of the things that I do best for my clients is that I, as the observer, can zoom out and see the larger shape of the body of work. I can identify the opportunities to solidify a structure or a step in the journey, and I can help them go into that pocket for a period of time and build, and then come back out, look at it again, polish it up, brand it, get the energy right, put it in its place, and then make another move and make another move and make another move. And then the other thing that I'm really good at is that I have the ability, additionally to all of those things that I just mentioned, to stay in the truth of expansion through energy and frequency. So through the magical aspect. So it's like the architecture piece and the magical piece. And when I say magical, again, like I'm just talking about how you create from your life force energy, how you bring your ideas into matter, how you live from the in-between states of your potential sparkling, crackling, speaking to you, whispering to you, your soul stream, compelling you to keep creating. It's like, what's the fuel that's keeping you creating, that's driving you? What delights you? What amplifies your energy? What creates magnetism? What enhances, what makes life magic, right? Because combined, those two things together are a powerhouse combination. And one of the things I've seen over the years working with one-to-one clients in both the magic space and the business building space is that oftentimes people feel more comfortable or more safe in one or the other. But it is very rare to find someone who can step in both. Like I said, one foot in the systems and 1 foot in the magic, step by step, holding your seat of power in the center through your identity and inner knowing. And my journey mirrors those steps as I shared. It was like, I feel like every other year I was stepping into one state or the other in that ADHD rebellion of, okay, I'm going in, I'm going. I'm like, I've created this, cage. I feel that way about only flow too. Like in the years where I was like, SOP, SHMESHOP, like, and I don't even use SOPs now. I use ordered dynamic systems that really work for me. But I have that rebellious nature where it's like, I would have a year where I'm like, I'm just creating from flow this year. I'm just following the energy. I'm going to vacation. I'm going to just book my calls, put my offers out there. I'm going to trust. I'm going to go with what is. And then after too much of that, I get to the place where I'm like, God, this is horrible. It's a chaotic mess. I can't stand how this feels. And like, so sick of myself that I'll get in the other side. I'm like, okay, it's time to put some order down. It's time to put some system down. I got to get some help. Let's take this airplane that's nosediving and pull up. And so I had this sensation at the end of 2024 that there were things that I just needed to get done. Just needed to get done. And prior to that, in the beginning of 2024, I told myself, this is the year that I clean up this wild spinning gear of a mad scientist laboratory that I've been creating. And for the past 3 years, it's year by year, like I said, 2020, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm trusting it. I'm leading. I'm a boss, babe. I'm doing it. And then the year after that, I was like, it's all me. I no more of this push. I'm just going to go with what is. And then after that, I was like, all right, let's level out. And then, so there's been this whole flow with this. And I just bring this up because I hear this so often in proximity to clients who have this like wild mind. So I call it like, you might call it like ADHD, neurodivergent. I'm like, I just have a mind that won't be tamed. And it works for me. But also, I got to have that balance. And so the people who focus only on magic, activations, healings, ideas, okay? Big ideas. I've got an idea about this thing. I've been told by my guides and my spirit guides to do this work. I have this big mission work in the world. I'm not going to push. I'm in the feminine energy. I'm only, divine timing. The timing will come when it's right. All of that, the people who only stay in that, I find, which is the interesting metaphor to feminine energy in the womb of potential, you end up in this place where oftentimes they're bloated with ideas. So it's like trying to birth something that never, ever actually gets birthed. And at some point, it starts to feel really uncomfortable. And then you tell yourself that you just failed. Like, it's not meant for you. There must be a new idea. There's a new spiritual identity. There's a new calling. It's not that was right. It's just really more that was the wrong. It was the wrong mission. It was the wrong calling. But now I'm a priestess, and this is what I'm meant to do. Okay? So there's that whole realm. And I've seen this happen like over and over. And the people over here, they're not wrong, but they're not moving and they're not feeling that great. Okay? It's like an endless seeking energy, high and low cycle. And then on the other side, there's the people who are like so analytical, so systems driven, so following every proven strategy, every framework with no flexibility, clinging to all the things that they think they're supposed to do, and there's no magic in it. So you have the magic that has no systems, so there's no structure to support the container, and then you have the systems only that has no magic in it. And no matter which side you're on, at some point you start to like lean over because you need a little bit of that. And then you start to lean over because you need a little bit of that too. So when I say don't box yourself in with rules about how you do business, what this has become in me, what I know about this 10 commandment is this. When it comes to business, structure and magic, it's not about strategies or systems, and it's not about only having flow and creating from thin air. It's about fluency. So magic is a language in your life when you truly understand it and it becomes your energetic source that you create from. And strategy, business strategy, systems is also a language that supports you in everything that you're desiring to create so that you can scale and you get to do it any way that you want, depending on the type of business that you want to run and your expectations of said business and how much time you invest in learning the systems so much so, learning the rules so much so that you can break them. You can't break a rule if you don't understand it. It's the metaphor of fluency. It's the metaphor of you can go and get 4 years of Spanish in high school. I was just talking about that this morning. The call on the client call. You can take 4 years of Spanish in high school. Let's use this with a business strategy metaphor. And you can learn how to order coffee and order tacos and ask people where the bus is and how to get a taxi to the hotel. And you can have conversational Spanish, for example, on vacation. Okay. That does not mean you're fluent. That does not mean the next time you stumble into the most beautiful party on the beach surrounded with locals, that when somebody walks up to you and you rattle off a few sentences and they're like, oh my gosh, amazing. I would love to connect with you. I'd love to know more about you. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to have you in my world. Let's talk. Let's talk. And all of a sudden you realize that you don't actually understand the language. It's that exact energy with business. And in the online space, if you want to have the flexibility to create the business that you desire to create, you have to become fluent. You don't get to float around in the water, relaxing and being like in paradise if you don't know how to swim. Okay? You don't get to float in the ocean unless you've learned how to swim. You will always be afraid of drowning. And it is that exact same energy when it comes to business strategy, business systems. You got to learn all the rules in order to break them. As a neurodivergent, I've always laughed about the fact that if somebody gives me a rule, I want to know what the rule does for me. So I'm never, ever, and have never, as a rebellious human in general, felt like I needed to follow rules. But I'm curious to understand rules so I know if the rule is going to serve me. So it's more analytical. It'd be like someone say, oh, you can't do this. And I'd say, I mean, I can. Of course I can. But if I knew the cause and effect of what I should and shouldn't do, or what you're presenting to me, present it to me as a potential possibility, because it's quite possible that I would like that. That I would say, yeah, you're right. I probably won't do that. I probably won't do that because it makes sense to me. Not that I can. I can. It might be stupid, but I absolutely could. And so the whole thing about being resistant, there's an energy of this rebel without a cause when it comes to you denying yourself the support that you need to learn what you need to learn, to be fulfilled in the things that you want to create in the world, and the avoidant nature of people who are energy informed and magical to not double down or triple down or at least spend a year diving into what needs to be done in their business so that they can get to the point where they create the rules so that at some point they can be actually doing the things that they desire to do, so that the tapping on the shoulder and the scratching and the whispering and like the intuition that keeps telling you like you do this thing, you should really go, you should go, you should go, you should go. It's like the amount of effort that it takes to like tamp that down and quiet that just so that you can avoid doing what you need to do in your business makes no freaking sense. And also, in addition to that, it actually causes fatigue. It causes depression and fatigue, like energy, to hold the weight of huge dreams and ideas and not do anything with them. So often people think that they don't have the energy to execute in their business or they're too busy. They're like, I can't possibly learn how to do the things that I need to do because I don't have any time now and I'm exhausted. It's like you're exhausted because you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're collapsing under the weight of unmet potential. And that actually is a very depleting energy because, and I promise you, if you had the systems and the magic aligned and you were moving in a way that felt natural to your inner rhythm, that felt like, oh, this is who I am. Your identity isn't trapped in it. Your avoidance patterns aren't trapped in it. Like you're not doing it because you think you're supposed to or because somebody told you to. You're just committed. You're just committed. You're devoted. You're living it. You're learning from it. When you're doing that, all of a sudden the energy source just flips. It's like a light switch. And you're like, holy moly, this feels like the work that God designed for me. I'm pretty sure this was on God's resume for me. I know it because I can feel it, because I'm not exhausted by it, because it's clicking. The amount of inner stability and power I feel from being in this position, in this moment, right here, right now, this is exactly what I've been trying to achieve. This is what I've been trying to reach for. I just thought every little thing that was in the way of me getting there was the thing that was telling me not to keep moving. And I can promise you this because I can feel the difference of all of these stages of my development as I moved forward into a field where I just really didn't have the skills, the know-how. I hadn't spent enough time learning the strategy so that I could not give a shit about it anymore. Like I hadn't actually gone through the steps. I was dancing around the steps, right? So dancing around the steps is even something as simple as hiring somebody to tell you what the best conversion sales strategy is for you. And then you taking that on as the thing that's going to go gangbusters in your business and not understanding how that sales strategy works enough, right? Because you haven't metabolized it so that you can take it and take responsibility for it and find the next iteration of it, right? So even those ways are the ways that we dance around and avoid. It's just such a profound conversation. So don't box yourself in with rules about how you do business, but learn the things that you need to learn so you can get into your post strategy era. Here's the thing. The people who are killing it in the online space and are tech savvy and incredible at what they do, they've earned the ability to not care and follow the rules because they know enough about it to be agile in that environment. So they can look at a strategy that somebody says, the algorithm is dead. Here's the next new thing. Here's the thing that you're going to do. Right away, they can read it. They can see exactly how it functions in the psychology of the potential buyer, how they feel about it in their energetic state. what aspect of it would or would not interest them, they can look at that and immediately go, nah, not for me. But they can say no because they already get it. The people who are drawn into those kind of quick fix mindsets when it comes to business are like, oh, the membership, that's going to fix it for me. It's like they think that and then they have to go in and do that thing because they don't get what aspect of it would work better for them. Yes, no, maybe, etc. It's like ingredients in a kitchen. It's fluency. It's you don't get to put together a language that and craft new interesting sentences in proximity and reaction to the current ever-changing, constantly shifting, morphing field of online business and creativity in general, especially as we move forward with AI and how fast it's going to continue to moving. Like, you don't get to be agile until you understand the field. So you create the rules around you when you don't understand the rules. And fluency is the intuitive fluency. Okay, so fluency with your own inner knowing state of self. Magical fluency, the fluency of your ability to understand your magic, how it works, how you wield it, aka creative life force, how you take an idea from nothing and turn it into something. And then online business fluency, agility and the ability to move, pivot, and operate in the way that you know best, no matter what way that is, by following nobody's rules. Those are the three anchors that you get to cultivate in your life as a sovereign creator that will set you up in the now moments and the future moments that we're moving into, that you will be of a different kind of human. We'll just put it that way. Excellence, okay? High capacity creator. If you want that, if you can feel that, if you're here for big dreams, then those are the areas that you need to focus. So thank you so much for joining this live. I have loved every day of this event. If you've been a part of it, if you purchased some of my offers during this special occasion, thank you so much. And I want to talk to you about Business Alignment Academy. So Business Alignment Academy is open for registration. This journey includes 1 year of support at a mastermind level, core curriculum to teach you business strategy, and also get the weekly support that you need to build up your relationship to it. So I'm talking about sales engines, offers, conversions, events, funnels, emails. It's like a crash course for business strategy, but also takes into account your unique architecture, the energetics and the frequency, along with quarterly masterminds and weekly office hours calls, so that no matter where you're at in the journey, you can get support for a year of building. A year of building. This offer is pure magic. I cannot tell you how much will shift and change for you in your business and life when you commit to a year of learning in this way. If you want to join for the early registration discount, you can reach out to me. I'll send you a link to apply. I'm only welcoming 15 people into the January cohort of Business Alignment Academy. And once the January cohort is done, then the price goes up. It's quite a bit. So if you're interested in that, send me a message, reach out to me, and I can't wait to see you back here in the next one. And I hope you have the most magical day.